what would be the most serious and somber track on the album, which is track 7, which is the closer. That is an absolute, I think, a really beautiful, epic song that the music was written by Alex years ago, and the lyrics were written by Alex and Roman on a tour with their previous band, Jagged Mouth. And they brought this idea to me, and I immediately latched onto it and said, yes, we have to do this on the record, because it's called Swallowed by the Sea. And I really resonated with the lyrics and the experience, because for me, I had a near-death drowning experience in my 20s, and I'm from Maine. I spent a lot of time in the ocean, and I thought I was done for. And it was just a moment where, strangely, the lyrics that Alex and Roman had written were very similar to what I had gone through mentally, and going, oh, okay, I can see the sun setting on the horizon, and I'm ready to give up and say goodbye, and I'm gonna go into death with peace if possible. And so I was like, this has to be on the record. Like, this is incredible. And as we're, going through different environments on the record, ending out on the ocean, and I think is a beautiful, peaceful ending, So I'm going to turn, the music part and the lyrics over to these guys, and more about that. But Swallowed by the Sea also has Christian Rad on violin, and also has Alex from the Owl of Growl on it. And so we have sort of accumulated the guest appearances on the record for the final track on the album. And I feel like it really just brings all the sounds and all the tones and all the colors and everything together, and really wraps up this record in a great way.
Where are you going? Okay. So, a few years ago now, I guess, Roman and I were camped out on the beach in Lincoln City, Oregon.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
We were in Lincoln City, Oregon. We had an unexpected day off on our tour. Some show fell through, I think, in Sacramento, and so we were able to spend some extra time in Oregon. And
all the other bands ended up getting a room. Yeah, well, the band we were with, Old Dagger, bless your hearts. I love you guys. They decided they needed a shower. But they got a room, so... Because it was really cold that night. We were out on the ocean, and it was beautiful. We got to hang out. It was cool. And then, so they ended up getting a room, and me and Alex were just like, dude, we are sleeping on the fucking beach. So we're over there hanging out, and there was these people hanging out by us. Big old fire, man. So we're over there hanging out, and then, we kind of invite ourselves over, and we're just hanging out with them, whatever. So they end up leaving, but they leave us their fire. So we're all hanging out, and all of a sudden the Old Dagger guys, one by one, they all come out and come hang out with us. So we're all hanging out on the beach. We set up the tent, fucking party. Remember how far we were out for the fucking, what's it called? The wake? Oh, the tide. Yeah. It was so far out. Like, we started walking out into the ocean, and like we were so far out there. It was weird because the ocean looked so far away, but it was so close. It was so weird because of the tide. And then actually you talk about the rest of the part because you remember it more, because I got pretty wasted.
Well, just a couple of things that I wanted to talk about too, and that just because we have to. We were touring, one band from Albuquerque, Jagged Mouth, one band from Santa Fe, Old Dagger. We were in a van together, and there's a certain point where we crested this hill, and there's the Pacific Ocean. And a lot of these guys had never seen the ocean before. Yeah. And it was like being in a van full of kids. Everybody was just like, it was so funny. Yeah. And so, we had to stay on the coast. Like, that's, being from where we are, when you're at the beach, be at the beach, The
energy from the ocean was insane that day. The energy, the waves, like, you could hear the energy. It was so weird because we were even talking about that. We're like, dude, do you feel that? Like, we have to be there. Like, we had to go into the ocean because the energy, it was just pulling us in. And the sunset was fucking epic.
And we saw a UFO.
Well, that's for the later in the part where it It was crazy.
Him and I saw a UFO. Yeah.
It was pretty intense. And I was wasted still, and I still remember that.
No, but what you were just talking about, that's akin to like someone from there, who's around the ocean all the time, coming to the desert. Like they might have a similar experience of, oh, can you feel the energy? Can you like look at this landscape? It's insane. So we were just kind of calling from that experience of just being on the coast, being on the west coast of the continent, and not something that we get to do very often, being from where we're at. So we had that experience, and then Roman woke me up at like 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something. The tide was coming in, right? And we put the tent far enough back. It was fine. But he woke me up, and he was like, dude, like
right there, man. Because the sea sounded like it was up our butts, man. And then I kept on looking out there. I was like, oh, do you see that, man? It's coming closer, dude. You're like, I think we're far in enough. No, but I kept on trying to, and Bond was over there fucking crashed out. He didn't give a shit. But we're all over there. Like, every time I would like doze off, I'd get woken up by a dream and just like, dude, the sea is gonna fucking take us in the morning, dude. Like I was dead set on it because it was near, it was coming close, dude. And it was the hours kept on going. I slept a little bit. Wake him up. He's like, dude, it's okay, man. It's not coming this close. I was like, dude, I think we're gonna get swallowed by the sea. You're just like, oh shit, that's fucking badass. So he stayed up with me because I was a little baby. So we talked about, dude, how cool would it be to write a song, Swallowed by the Sea? And like, because I was in and out of dreams, and I was buzzed. I was fucking drunk, honestly. And I was just going in and out of dreams, and like, it was just really cool. And I was like talking to him. I was like, dude, it felt like it was like right here. But yeah, and the whole lyrics and everything just happened with that whole experience because it was really cool because we were fucking sleeping on the beach in Oregon, and just it was just crazy. The morning was really cool because we got to because there was a river that flowed into the sea, so and there was waves coming up. So it was it was when fresh water met salt water, and you should see how much wildlife was there, and just how much even people would just walk and just look at it. But it was really cool because it was like the intertwining of the waters, and it was really cool, man. And just the whole experience was cool, and just being afraid of, because there's no sea here. There's one river, but I was just like, because I didn't know, man. I thought that shit was gonna fucking swallow us, man. I thought that shit was gonna eat us alive because it sounded like it was.
Yeah. So I wrote the lyrics, been sitting on them for a while. One of them is which will the moon allow us to be swallowed by the sea, in reference to the tide that Roman was so overly concerned about. And
I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain boy, man. Come on.
So I'd been sitting on those lyrics. Wanted to use them for our former band, and that was not going to happen. So he knew that I was sitting on him still. He joined up in Red Mesa, and they did their thing for the last album cycle and tour. And then we had just talked about maybe using those lyrics or that song idea on the new Red Mesa album because of the story that you had in mind, and they worked out as being like a closing track. So you approached me about it, and then you approached me about it at the store that I work at, and we had a nice little discussion about it. And it's real nice how everything with this current lineup of the band has kind of culminated. Roman and I have been friends for years, did a previous band together, worked together, just a dear friend. I started going to Red Mesa shows after he started playing drums and got to know Brad just from hanging out and had, like, I would say an instant connection. Like, just a friendly guy, a brother, someone who's positive and motivated. I'm obviously going to be, like, really magnetized to that. And this song is kind of a testament to our friendship, I think. You know? Yeah. It really kind of culminates everything that we've been working on. We all had input into it. It wasn't a finished product by any means, but I was recovering from surgery over the summer, and that is when I actually wrote the music for it. I hadn't been sitting on that too much. I wrote it with Red Mesa in mind, but still having some of whatever I bring to the table as far as writing riffs or writing, songsmithing. And then I was invited these guys over to where I was staying and showed them, and it just kind of took off from there. And this song is also the reason why I'm in the band, because the original plan was that we were just going to use it, and I might play guitar on it here and there, or I might lend the lyrics, or I might end up singing some of them, whatever, which turned into me actually being in this band, which I'm very appreciative and thankful for. Yeah, and that's, yeah.
No, that's cool. No, because that's cool. Yeah, it's good to that you did said that, because that's true. And I love having you in the band too, because we have a certain musical connection, a rhythm section for life. But I'm glad how the song turned out, because this song had to live. It had to live with it just had to live, and I'm glad it does live. And the riff that you wrote is what I imagined, because when we talked about the song, we talked about the landscape, we talked about how we wanted it to sound, and then the descend at the end is perfect too, because it's heavy as fuck, and all of us are on it too. That's what's cool too. We start the album with all three of us on vocals, and we end the album with all three of us on vocals, and that's pretty cool, because it all comes back around, and it all came back around. And the finished product is amazing. I couldn't imagine it any better, because we talked about it for so long. We even talked about it on that tour, because we had some few shows after that, and that's when you got sick, because I think you got sick that night, right? Oh no, that's the day you got sick, because it was cold. Yeah, it was cold that night, and I just had a blanket. Remember, I was just rolled up like a burrito in that Bronco blanket. I had everything on too. I had all my clothes on with layers, and I was still cold. Yeah, but I'm just glad the song lives, and I couldn't want it any other way. Good job, brother.
Likewise. We wrote 4 lines of lyrics right before we hit the studio to wrap up the song, and by way, the album, wrapping up the album. Yeah. One of those lines is, "Death, embrace me as I embrace you." And that really helped to culminate and bring everything full circle as far as the concept that Brad had in mind about preparing yourself, and that death is not the end, and you're preparing yourself for whatever is next that none of us can know at this point. You don't know until you go. But yeah.
Yeah, and so Swallowed by the Sea has Alex on lead vocals, which was like this trip for me, because I've done all the lyrics and done all the vocals on all the previous Red Mesa stuff, and it was this freeing moment where it was like, Alex got great fucking voice, and we're evolving as a band with Heaven Roman and Alex on board, because we have the ability to write together. And I haven't really had that in the versions of this band. I mean, Devil and Desert, I basically wrote myself and recorded with Matthew Tobias. And it was just like me and him, because I didn't have a band at that point, which is a real trip. And Roman's been with me since day one, since that record's come out, man. And he's been just in so many ways, a phenomenal addition to the band, and we've become really great friends. And I started Desert Records, and he started Arise Music and Monolith on the Mesa at the same time, and I think it was sort of without even having that conversation, is we need to do stuff. We believe in this, and if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna have to be me. It's gonna have to be Roman. No one else is gonna do what we want to do, so let's create a thing in New Mexico. Because we love music so much. I know Roman, that's all he thinks about all day long, and I do too. And it becomes a thing where it's the thing that I'm thinking about, I should probably just like get into it instead of be thinking about it. And I think, I'm inspired by people like that. So Roman is real inspiration to me with that. And then with Alex on board, because he's such a powerful force to move forward. And we kind of looked at each other like, we got about 2 months to write a record, boys. If we're going to, get it out by May and go on tour and play the New England Stoner and Doom Festival. And so we sort of looked at each other like, let's write a fucking record. And I'm really proud of these guys because for me to turn over vocals to somebody, that was a letting go process. And was like, well, Alex can sing like a motherfucker. He can sing all kinds of styles. It's like, well, how are you going to sing? Is it going to be raw, or is it going to be pretty, or like what is it going to be, And his vocals are incredible. The lyrics that they wrote are incredible. And the music is incredible. And the song is just fucking beautiful. And it makes me happy and gives me a lot of confidence. Like going forward is like, wow, Red Mesa I don't have to do all of that, And for me to be able to have guys that we can all write together and we can come up with a concept, that process is so vulnerable, and it's you sort of bare your soul with that process to write and go, well, I'm sharing these ideas with you. How do you accept that? You're sharing these ideas with me. How do you accept that? And us like basically, giving each other confidence. And, a big part of our writing process is that we are not married to any ideas. It's like we have this idea. Does it work? Nobody's offended if it doesn't work. We just have to ask ourselves, is it the right thing to play and to put out? If not, we'll move on and we'll try this until it fits. And that's really been like our writing process, is that bring ideas and share those ideas and support those ideas and let's work with them until they become a thing or they just aren't the thing that works. And that's okay, because you can put those away, but this is what organically happened. And that part of the writing process has been great with these guys. We're honest with each other. We're like, what do you think? And we're like, we can do better than that, And that's gonna be it. So yeah. Path to Deathless will be out on May 1st. Yeah, we're going to go on tour on May 7th to the East Coast for 2 weeks. And then we'll be back at Monolith on the Mesa on May 28, 29, and 30th. So we really hope to see everybody out there when we go on tour. We really want to thank everybody who supported us through the years. We have some really beautiful fans out there who come to our shows and buy our records and, support us along the way with just, coming up in front of the stage and banging their head with us. And, we really appreciate that a lot. And so, yeah, I'm going to turn that over to you guys.
Just want to say, look forward to releasing this album and having everyone hear it. I know there's some excitement when we're talking to people and stuff, but honestly, I can't wait till everything comes out because it's been a lot of work, and there's a lot of surprises even for us that, even with Alex's singing on Swallowed by the Sea, it was new for him too, and he killed it because he was talking about his approach and stuff, and it came out so good. And then from our special guests, from Kristen to Alex to Sherman, and then our other friend, and it's just we're excited to put this out because we've been talking about it for so long, and it's come together so good. And I think this is one of my best raw recording experiences I had, working with Matt Tobias again, and just loving him in the studio. He was from the butt cracks to him being straight, brutally honest. I love it. And the scotch. And I'm excited for everyone to hear it too, because we've been holding in so much info and we're just ready to put it out, and it's going to be on vinyl. We're going to do a tour and the special guests and then the artwork from the lyric, everything. So thank you for all your support, and I look forward to seeing you all on tour.
I just wanted to say real quick too, you have grown as a drummer just over the last couple months, which helped us with this recording process and everything. And you were always willing to bring ideas and always willing to receive feedback when those ideas weren't necessarily the right fit for that moment in time of the song. And I just really appreciate your humility and approach to being teachable. It's kind of what we need to be doing as humans overall. Be humble, be teachable. Maybe you don't have it all figured out. Maybe somebody else is right. And we have been able to work together as a team for that kind of stuff, for the better final version of the song that we can all be proud of. And anyway, I just wanted to give you props because you've become a better musician over the course of just the last few months during this process.
Well, we learn every day. We learn from each other all the time, and every day is a learning process. So I'm very open-minded, and I don't know everything. I want to know everything, but it's gonna take a long time. But no, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And Brad, you have really overextended yourself as far as being humble and open. Yeah, it's your baby, and you got these two freaking characters in here now. Are you kidding me? But I approach that with humility and appreciation. But you have been very easy to work with and really motivational. This band has become a second job because these guys keep us so busy. There's always something cooking. There's never a day where we're not texting about, this thing is coming up. This happened today. It's just been so cool. And but you have been very open and what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But you have come to you've gotten to another level of songwriting, of vocal styles, of soloing.
Soloing, yeah. I've noticed the solos have been really good.
Yep, that's a great point. So thank you for that too, because who wants to remain stagnant? But this is a very different album from the first Red Mesa album and from The Devil in the Desert. This is chapter 3, and it's very different and very new and brave of you. Yeah.
Thanks for taking this in.
Thank you, brothers. lot of love in the Red Mesa camp. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Hunter, and appreciate this. So we'll see you guys out there.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
All right.